we still have Mr. Chariff Carvajal, who is in charge of ASOEX for the campaigns of promotions for cherries in Europe, Asia, and Middle East. He will show the breakthroughs in the campaigns for cherries in China. Chariff, you have the floor. Good afternoon. We have heard many presentations of our colleagues from China, which are very interesting and describing the Chinese market as well as the different features for the distribution channels. And I would like, in very straightforward terms, describe now what we are doing in the campaigns of promotions of cherries for China. That is to say, which are the opportunities we have, as well as the future challenges that we are facing. We are going to start with the characteristics of the cherry demand in China, the main milestones for the promotion activities, the results and learning experiences, the opportunities, threats for the future, and some final comments. So we will start by the characteristics. And if we see the Chinese population divided into men, male and females in this range of age, we can see that they are around 423 million people. Today, the penetration of Chilean cherries in the middle of this population reaches up to 80%, and we should be careful about this figure because this is the national average, and maybe in some main cities 80% or more. However, we should take into account the regional cities tier 2, tier 3, where maybe this penetration would lower to 60 or 50%. This is an opportunity, therefore, to further develop. In terms of sales today, the Chinese buyer is buying cherries once a week. And if we compare the situation to 2018, we would say that it remains the same. Today is buying for each of these occasions for 699 in the past, and today they are spending $17 for each one of these buys, and it used to be $14.7. So there is an increase in both the amount and the price that they pay. All these data come from the studies. Mark Hancock said this morning that we need to invest for knowing what is happening in the market. And the cherries are contributing, or the cherry market is studying the dynamics of the market, the dynamics of the customers, and the dynamics concerning the challenges that we'll have in the future. Today, in terms of the buying, is through specialized stores, 23% in supermarket and 12% in e-commerce. And as we saw this morning, this is increasingly going up. The occasions now, opportunities for buying today, it is very important to buy cherries for feasts. And I would like to add here, it is very interesting to see when it's not for a specific occasion, and this is part of our objectives of the promotion campaigns, that is to say, generating the consumption that is not just related to the new year, but all the availability throughout all the availability. When you are buying cherries, you see the freshness, the quality, the flavor, the sweetness, and the organoleptic traits. Now we're going to analyze demand. When we do the promotion campaigns, when we are analyzing the behavior of a consumer, all the marketers are using this funnel and basically describing the stages that the consumer goes through, right from the recognition of the product, considering the product, and then buying the product. This is the funnel, and where conservation and a purchase and normally buying. And our campaign of promotion or marketing is structured today in order to facilitate this traveling through this funnel. For example, we're using some actions of PR, B2B actions, or uh, advertisement on talks, on media, leaders of opinion in the social networks in order to let this product to be acknowledged or recognized, and then to drive this in the sales of point of sale. Sorry, we use the social networks and the e-commerce platforms, live streaming, as we saw in the example of Douyin today, and also the actions in the point of sales, in the supermarkets, in the fruit stores, and so on. Through all this journey, we try to increase the impulsive buying of the products. Basically, today we succeeded to have a very good positioning in terms of the funnel structure, and Chile is by far at a better stance compared to other uh, cherry producers in the southern hemisphere, and we are at a level of awareness that is similar to the domestic product in China. I would like to show you some milestones that we have developed in the Chinese market through a very short video, and then I will deal with each one of these stages and what we have done. This is the curve for the evolution of exports in weekly volumes to China. We were around 364,000 tons, and China represents still 88% of the global exports of Chilean cherries worldwide. With this curve, I will structure by segment each one of the activities we are developing throughout the season. We start first of all with the media management. We manage around 130 press releases, nine stories at the TV, through digital media, social networks, and all these platforms. And we are monitoring the social networks to know what people are talking about and saying about the Chilean cherries. This was very important 3 seasons ago, and we understood that it was necessary to hear what the consumers are saying about the our products. And here we have the bad and the good. For media management, we have 306 million of impressions, and this is a total of $5 million, which is higher than the KPI established at the beginning. Then we have the different articles, the press, and if we see again the curve of our activities, we have this stage of B2B actions. We are promoting the products amongst importers, distributors, and the suppliers for chains. And here we have a kind of informative action. That is to say, we develop three different webinars during the season. We conduct surveys in order to know what they know or think about our services and products. And this year, at the B2B level, we generated 30 different articles in both English and Chinese. And these represent 3.5 million impressions or prints. And in here we have the different actions for the press releases, the digital advertising, and webinars. This year we had the participation of Claudio Soler, the executive director of this committee. As I said before, we conduct surveys 3 times during the season to see how the people are perceiving our exports behavior and how the market perceives all of this. We saw there was a positive progress as the season develops vis-a-vis the sales expectations they had, and then the conditions of the product was always reoccurring as an item, as a topic, and became more important as identified by the surveys. It was positive to identify that there is a certain support from the sector in terms of the timely information provided for their decision-making process. Another important stage are all the actions online. That is to say, the advertising in the social networks, the key opinion leaders, the platform of e-commerce, and live streaming. And in here we use 155 elements in all the platforms. For the first time, we were able to formalize relationship with doing, and you see the numbers or the figures we reached with this kind of advertisement in this. We had 6 platforms, and we were present in over 7 platforms of e-commerce, supporting this journey of the customer online to translate this into a click and a sale through the important distribution channels. So we have 3.9 impressions, and the sales translated into $592 million and CPM of 0.56 that exceeded the KPI that was defined as 0.68. So as we saw in the previous slides, we have ads with different platforms and different way to consume the product at different occasions. We also had a contest for promotion and the advertising in external media. We have a very strong component consisting of offline advertising. We work with the main 5 chains of fruit stores over 73 days and almost every day with promotional material, with tasting activities, and inviting the consumers to buy the product. We were in 7 wholesaler markets and working with over 17 different retailer chains with these activations in the points of sales in 77 cities in China. And these 67, cities, many of them tier 1, and in the future we need to reinforce the presence in tier 2, tier 3 cities where the future development will take place.
Total sales through hyper and supermarkets, $120 million. Fruit shops, 56 million, and more or less 16 uh, wholesale markets all over Chile. How important are offline promotion initiatives in sales points? Here, a chart that tells us those stores with promotions, sales would increase by 100 to 300% compared to those without sales offers, without promotions. So this shows the importance of promotions to generate impulsive sales. So without promotion, 9,800 and 34,000 RMBs in those with promotion. Fruit shops in wholesale markets and launches with authorities. Authorities are very important and looked up to in China. We worked together with the embassy, with Pro Chile, doing this sort of activities. And also, there is a hunger for information on the part of the Chinese population, telling them about the season, the volumes, what they would expect in terms of varieties. And going back to the funnel concept that we had talked before, and what this is, we can clearly see how we facilitate the consumer's journey and the in numbers are much higher for those that saw the campaign versus those that haven't. We interviewed thought leaders in China to see their perception about the season and lessons learned. Let's play the video. Como sabemos, la prevención de COVID-19 y medidas de control ya se han flexibilizado en China. Vemos que la cadena de suministro de Nansha para la importación de cerezas se ha retomado y podemos tener plataformas de inspección, 162 plataformas de inspección en las bodegas. Con la capacidad mejor de inspección, esta temporada de Nansha, el volumen va a exceder 270 containers de inspección y nos tarda menos de 2 horas para desde la descarga del contenedor hasta que se descargue en el mercado JHS. El mercado cubre un área de 220.000 metros cuadrados y hay 70.000 metros cuadrados de fruta importada, un área de fruta importada. Al mismo tiempo, el mercado está equipado con facilidades de servicio como estacionamientos, bodegas frías, montacarga y también todo dentro de los estándares nacionales más modernos. Eso de encuentro a las necesidades de los clientes. ¿Qué tipo de cerezas de Chile les interesa más en China? Las cerezas se vuelven cada vez un producto más esencial y los consumidores pagan más y más. Le gustan las cerezas large como las 2J y 3J e incluso 4J. Los consumidores adoran la cereza de color profundo y rojo y variedades como Cordia y Rainier son prevalentes. En el futuro vamos a ver, tendremos completa confianza en el mercado chino. John Mao junto con ASOEX y el Comité de Cerezas y otros aliados le quieren dar al consumidor chino más calidad, más variedad y mejores calibres para mejorar sus crecientes expectativas, promover el desarrollo sustentable de las cerezas en China. Con el progreso de la situación del COVID, las ventas minoristas han mejorado a diario. Sin la restricción de los navíos y contenedores, las frutas entregadas a los consumidores asegura que la calidad y la cantidad sea más consistente. En segundo lugar, de lo que hemos visto, cada vez más canales de ventas offline y online están presentes, así como juegos basados en eso, las ventas pueden ser motivadas mucho más rápido que antes, que es la parte clave para asegurar la calidad y el retorno a los productores. El performance del e-commerce este año, el desempeño del comercio electrónico, este año los tiempos de tránsito fueron bastante interesantes para CNI y para la próxima esperamos que el inventario post temporada sea más amplio. 60% de la cereza chilena, consumidores de cereza chilena son mujeres y 50% son jóvenes entre 25 y 34. 50% de los consumidores son de las ciudades de nivel 1 y 2. Y el consumo demanda que las ciudades de nivel 3 crezcan más. Más del 40% de los consumidores de cereza son de alto ingreso, con una gran proporción de expertos en cocina. 60% de los consumidores tienen alto poder de compra, L4 y L5, en todas las plataformas. Muchas gracias. Well, opportunities and threats for the future. What opportunities have we been seeing in the market? Things that have come up in our researches. Well, a demand for larger fruit. It's one thing. Also, promoting the product in tier 2 and 3 cities. Also, differentiating in terms of packaging. Other speakers have mentioned that, but there is a lot of competition on the shelves, on e-commerce platforms, against other products with very attractive packages that call the consumer's attention. Well, threats. We're not alone in the market and we have competitors. We do have them. Maybe of other products. Consumers, when they go out to buy a gift for the Chinese New Year's, they not only look for cherries, they also have other alternatives like alcoholic beverages, chocolate snacks, healthcare products, and tobacco and tea. So we must keep that in mind. Today, we have a high market share in China for cherries, but there could always be threats from other types of products. And there is where promotional campaigns are important to keep Chilean cherries at the top of mind of consumers. Well, sectoral promotion of Chilean cherries have been one of the most successful cases of food promotion in China. The exponential growth in the last 7 years has been part of that, and at a 29% growth annually. And promotional campaigns for this sector supports the growth of and expands the types of cherries offered. It makes the pie bigger, and we must focus not only in tier 1 cities, but also 2 and 3. We have many opportunities to grow in China's hinterland, and also we must face the threat of other products, of other alternatives. So this is a call to maintain what we have and to plan for the long term the efforts to keep exporting to China. This is a long-lasting effort, and we must have a plan ready for at least the next 3 years to continue to grow and to follow the increasing production that is coming